Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you saw in the thumbnail, I am going to be giving you my thoughts on The Bachelor. I'm going to answer some of you guys' questions now. First one goes to Selena Bobina. Can you give advice on tearing down walls built within the marriage? Thanks, love you. Love you too. I think having a talk about how to talk within your relationship is really important. Like, talking late at night doesn't work for us. Talking early in the morning also doesn't really work for us. We just know that if there's something heavy on our hearts or something important that we want to talk to each other about, you know, we've kind of discussed like this is the best time of day to really like dish all of that out, and for the most part we stick to that. Leora Kassman, when Vanessa asked Nick's dad if love is all it takes to make a relationship work, what was your answer to that question? No, of course it's more than that. It takes, first of all, Christ to be the center of your relationship. Love, trust, compromise, so many other things besides love. JC Weekly says, how do you encourage your man to woo you? Sometimes I feel there's no woo going on. This mama of four needs to be wooed. Again, I think that's where having good communication comes in, where you can literally just at that certain time of the day sit down and be like, babe, I don't feel appreciated by you lately. I don't even feel like you like me that much lately. I feel unattractive, or I feel like I work hard and you don't notice it. But just being able to set your pride aside and literally like let him know that you need it. Guys are really kind of clueless sometimes when it comes to how to best love us. You know, they think how they would want to be treated, and we are very emotional. Women are just so emotional. We run off of our emotions, and just letting him know when he's slacking, or even like exactly word for word how to not slack. There have been times where I'm just having a bad week or maybe even a month, and Sam is like, can you just tell me exactly what I can do? Like, tell me what to say or what to do in these moments, because I don't know. I feel like I try. Like, he will say, I try. I feel like what I'm saying and what I'm doing is gonna work, and then it doesn't. Just basically spelling it out for them. Yep. Sounds really dumb and like something we shouldn't have to do, but I just think it's better than expecting our husbands to read our minds. Simply Sid Rose. What is your tips for high school girls? Anything related? P.S. Love your vlogs. Been watching since day one. Thank you, Simply Sid. A tip for a high school girl. Let's see. I'll give you a tip that I wish someone had given me when I was younger. I would definitely say you girls who don't have really good father figures and role models, not to rely on boys and boyfriends and flirting. It's kind of where we tend to go when we're hurting, or maybe our girlfriends are being mean, or we're stressed out with our moms, or the lack of dad in our life. Just have confidence in who you are without a man, without a boy, a boyfriend, or, you know, just find a way to sit down and really discover who you are at this age as your teenage self, and just learn how to be the best version of you that you can be without a boyfriend. Also, your mom has good advice. No matter how old and silly and annoying and bratty you think she is, she has good advice and you should listen to her. Lynn Jelinski, how are you able to forgive and rise above the whole scandal with Sam? That must have taken incredible strength, especially in the public eye. Yes, it was very difficult, especially in the public eye. How was I able to forgive and rise above? You know, I really feel like I want to give you some big drawn out answer, but it boils down to having God in my life and intentionally surrounding myself with women who are going to build me up and encourage me biblically. If you're going through something even remotely close to what I went through, there's no way you can do it alone. Like either one of you or your spouse, boyfriend, whatever. You need to be in the Word, reading the Bible, praying, and really leaning on the godly women that have been placed in your life. Miss M96. Ephesians 5:25 talks about how a man should love his wife like Christ loves the church. How do you keep your relationship the #1 priority in your life so that you can love each other like Christ loves us? Well, I'll tell you, my relationship with Sam is not the #1 priority in my life. So that right there is my answer. My relationship with Jesus is the #1 priority in my life, then my relationship with Sam, and then my relationship with all of my kids. You know, I think that's where we go wrong sometimes. I can definitely say I've been there. It's when we put our spouse and our relationship first in our life. They don't belong there, and so it's never going to work out as long as you're trying to fit them into that slot. It's like a puzzle. Like if you're trying to put a piece where it doesn't belong, it's never going to work. The puzzle is never going to be complete. It's never going to be as cute or beautiful or whole as it should be, and something's always going to be a struggle. But when you put it into the slot it belongs, things start to fit. all the other pieces start to fall into place and the whole picture starts to come together. And that's kind of how I look at my relationship with the Lord and then my relationship with Sam. Sam belongs in the slot number 2. And for so long I put him in slot number 1. And I think, you know, we just have to find that balance and find how do we even, especially in this day and age, I think it's not very common that young people have the Lord first in their life. You know, I'm sure there's plenty who do, but, you know, especially when you get wrapped up into an emotional and like romantic relationship, as I did at a really young age, you know, that person becomes number 1 in your life pretty quickly. And after years and years and years of having them on that pedestal and as the number 1 spot, it's like, how do I take them down from that spot? Anyways, I hope that made sense. That's my answer to that question. Maddie Gallo. How do you feel about the secret season of time that both of them had to go through to hide their relationship, positive or negative? I think there's a bit of both. She's referring to The Bachelor when after the finale is filmed, there's a big gap in between when they can be public about it because we're all watching the show and they're all separated. You know, they go their different ways and they can't be seen in public. So how do I feel about that? I feel like I would hate it, and I feel like it's probably really strenuous on their relationship that is like brand new and they're engaged, they're fiancés. It seems like a really difficult hurdle that they probably have to conquer. Kind of cool that they get to conquer such a difficult hurdle right in the beginning if they actually conquer it. But yeah, I think it's probably pretty difficult, and I know I wouldn't like it, and I don't know that I would ever choose to put myself in a situation where I have to go through what all those women have to go through. Below12, aka Becca, hey girl, she wrote a really long comment on my Instagram, her thoughts on The Bachelor this season. I'm not gonna read it, it's really long, but she also asked a question at the end: who are your favorite Bachelor couples? Hers are Tristan, Ryan, Desiree, and Chris. Desiree and Chris are also one of mine. I also really like Caitlyn and Sean, and then also Sean and Catherine. I really like Caitlyn and Sean because I feel like for the first time a Bachelorette had love at first sight that I saw, that I watched on TV, and she like kind of led her season through those eyes that fell in love on that first night. I know she had a really crazy season and all, but I feel like that would have been me. Like, if you're signing a contract and you have to see it through and you have to go on these dates, but you know you had love at first sight and you know you want to pick that guy, how would you navigate your season? And I feel like I would have had that same kind of like thought process, like, oh, I really like this guy, but then remember I fell in love with Sam the first night, but oh, this guy, he said this or did that, or this guy's really cute, but then I remember I would always have that in the back of my mind and want to like go there. So anyway, that's kind of ridiculous. But Rachel Foster, how do you deal with your emotions when you feel like your emotional needs are not being met? How do you manage them to the point of a calm discussion with your husband as opposed to staying quiet until you say something you regret? That's interesting. I was actually talking to my girlfriends about this last night. My go-to thing when I'm feeling frustrated with Sam is to first pray and find out, am I really frustrated, or am I just being emotional, am I just being hormonal? The times I pray immediately, things always go good. The times that I don't, things always blow up or turn out like annoying. And so that's my advice there. It's kind of a difficult thing to do because sometimes you're angry and you're like, I can't just stop and pray, I'm really angry right now. But you can pray to the Lord in any kind of mood you're in and just talk to him like, oh, I'm so angry. Okay, and my final question comes from Sarah Victoria _5. Any thoughts on why it's okay for Christian girls or guys to watch shows like The Bachelor? Okay, so this is something that I actually have like talked with a pastor's wife before in the past. I was watching a season of this and she had been watching like Grey's Anatomy or something. And we were both talking about how, oh, when the kids go to bed, I watch my show, and what show do you watch, and what do you watch, and blah, blah, blah. We were discussing the fact that like if we have to wait until our kids are in bed because it's inappropriate, then there's a problem. But if we're waiting for our kids to be in bed because we want to have like peace and quiet to watch it, then that's a whole different story. In my opinion, it boils down to your convictions. I have in the past been watching a season of The Bachelor and I felt convicted. It was very worldly and I did not think what was going on was okay for me to be watching. And so I quit watching it. I don't like some of the aspects of the show as a Christian, and I would definitely, you know, I'm not a fan of the whole fantasy suite thing that they do, but that is one episode out of the whole season. And so everything else up until that point is pretty, you know, easygoing and like lighthearted, and you're kind of just watching a love story unfold. So I don't feel a conviction. I didn't this season anyways, but if I did, I would stop And if you do, you should stop watching whatever you're watching. So anyways, guys, it's always so fun chatting about girly things with all of you. I love, and I really loved the season of The Bachelor. So thanks for hanging out with me today. And I would love to chit chat with you guys in the comments. Tell me what you thought about the season. Ask me more questions about love and relationships, and I would be happy to answer them down in the comments below. I try to do my best to answer you guys, especially the first couple of days, as many comments as I have time for. So anyways, if you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, I am going to try to start posting weekly videos again. I am working on just figuring out the dynamic that works for me. I have 3 little kids and it is a busy time. Right now, my bedroom is a disaster. That's why I'm sitting up against my headboard of my bed so that you can't see literally anything else around me. It's horrible. So my kids are napping and I should be cleaning, but I decided to make a video instead. That's hard for me to do every single week, to choose a day and just let my house go astray so I can plan and get ready for and edit and execute a video. Anyways, enough of that. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!